Hey everybody, it's Josie. Welcome back to Cedar Creek Homestead. Well, I'm out in the garden again. Here comes the train. And Doc is wanting his extra victuals. And we're in our last week. In fact, just the last few days of July. Be rolling into August. And I thought you guys might like to see what the garden's doing. We've got a lot of tomatoes coming on and cucumbers. The beans are really growing. All the melons are doing good. Corn's doing well. And I've got a big harvest to do this morning. And we've been canning pickles and jellies and putting up squash. We don't have any okra yet, which is really strange, but this is just a strange year. We've had to plant it 3 times and it's finally getting going, but haven't been able to harvest any yet. And so we're just clicking right along, doing what we have to do to make ends meet and look well to the ways of our households, and I know y'all are doing the same. So I'm gonna get busy picking. It's early morning, but it is already hot. It's Friday, and we have I think today's supposed to be over 100 in temperature, and we are under excessive heat warnings until Sunday, and then we begin to cool off for just a little bit, and boy, we're looking forward to that. And so next 2 days are really days that we have to be really careful, and you guys know if you have that kind of issues, then you have to do the same thing. I'm sorry y'all, I'm facing right into the sun and I'm squinting. I hope I don't look mad or angry. I'm not. It's a beautiful morning. I'm rejoicing in the Lord, but I'm having to shield my eyes. So I'm going to turn the camera around and walk down through here and start harvesting, and I'll share with you what we got. Well, this time I thought I'd start off with our pumpkins, and we have a couple of pumpkin plants here that are getting good and started, and they've got big blooms on them. And these are the Big Max pumpkins, Max, M-A-X, and as they grow, I'm pulling the vines over towards the corn, because it's about time for the corn is just about done making. I've been pulling ears every few days, pull some ears, and they're just about done. We didn't get the best germination on all of it. It's right here, but this is our corn patch, and we got 3 rows. And so when this comes out, we'll just train the pumpkins to come right on in here, and they'll have plenty of room. Right behind the pumpkins in this row is little watermelon plants, and they're starting to jump and vine out. We're excited about that, and I'll do the same with them. I'll get those vines to head towards where the corn's at now. Over to the left of the screen here, over this way, is the end of the garden. See where those pipes are? There's a fence right there, and then you have problems with them growing and wanting to get up in the weeds and in pasture, and of course you know what happens. The cows will eat them or step on them or whatever. So we're going to get them going towards the corn. Sadie's found another use for the corn. She gets up in there and lays in the shade. She's seen me coming, so she's moved out of the way. So if you look off this way, this is 3.5 rows of cowpeas, horticulture beans. Sadie, come here. Get out of it. If you look off this way, these are our rows of beans, and we've got cowpeas, horticulture beans, rattlesnake beans, and a half row of jade green beans. The cucumbers will be done before too long, and I'm going to put in another row of beans there. And I've got a place for 2 more. We're probably going to do a few more rows of beans to have a fall crop. And we don't even have this crop pulled yet, but we got to make plans for the fall. Here's our little okra. You can see it's up, but you can see also that it is just It's starting to grow, but it is taking its own sweet time after 3 times of planting. And so we'll have to really get after it, and hopefully it'll get some good okra going on it, so we like to put it in the garden. There's a few spots that it didn't come up, and then here's some more of it. So I'm gonna get okra, it just may not be very tall okra. Here is a patch of cantaloupe vines, and they are going crazy. There's blooms all over them, so hopefully they always have bees all over them, and they'll get going and give us a good crop of good sweet cantaloupes. This is the yellow squash. We still have a lot of blooms on it. We've gotten some squash, and it's been delicious, and it's still going, still healthy. We have a few yellow vines, but I just think it's because they're to their point, past the point of prime for them. But I'm sorry about my shadow, guys. But there's our big patch of yellow crookneck squash. And then, look in there, here's our tomatoes. I've already picked my red tomatoes, but they are still loaded. I've got them turning. You'll see here, I've got tomatoes that are turning, and it won't be much longer, and I'll go ahead and pick those. If I leave them on the vine till they're totally ripe, the birds and the squirrels from over here in the woods will come and attack them and take a bite and just throw the tomatoes on the ground. So we usually have to pick our tomatoes and let them ripen on the back porch, and they taste just as good. But if I want to have a big crop, that's what I have to do. Well, there was a quick walk around of the garden, and to be totally honest with you guys, it is so hot out here that I just wanted to show you kind of what was growing. And we've had a few pop-up showers, and they've been a blessing. They really have. Other than that, we're having to water to keep things going. It just is what it is. We're in a heat wave like what most of the country is, and the temperatures are dangerous, the humidity is dangerous, and you just can't stay out very long. You pretty much have to do what you can in the early morning and the late evening. Weed what you can, pick what you can, pay attention to what's needing some attention right then at that moment, and then you got to get in out of the heat. It's just that unbearable, really is. And so before I go, I'll show you the little turkeys. We've got them moved to their new pen. They've graduated up. They're not ready to go out with the big flock, but they're close to them, so they can get used to being around other birds other than just the quail. And they're doing good. They like their space, and they can roam and fluff out their feathers and do all the things that turkeys do, and I'll give you a shot of that. Well, we got our little turkeys moved out into their new pen, and they're learning all of their boundaries and getting to enjoy having more room. We had, out of all those that we hatched, we had 6 make it to this stage. And then when we were moving them, we had one that flew out, and he hit a desk. And when we picked him up, he seemed to be okay, but when we got him up here to this pen, he had died. So evidently when it hit, the force of him hitting it was kind of like a bird hitting your glass window, and it killed him. So I am down to 5 little turkeys, this size turkeys. I still have my 4 big bourbon reds. These are eastern turkeys, wild turkeys, that we hatched from eggs, and so we'll watch these grow. And it looks like I've got hens and toms, but I can't tell you for sure how many of each one I've got yet. But they're enjoying being out here and having lots more room to move around and investigate, and they're happy. I could hear them from the porch calling and making their noises this morning. Well, guys, that's it. A nice quick tour of the garden and a look at the little turkeys, an update on them, and then I need to head in. I've got things to can, but I need to go in where it's cool. And hope you guys are taking it easy, finding some shade, getting you something cool to drink. And until next time, guys, this is Josie. I love you. I really do. We're gone.